You can text, you can type the text and inform me whether the presentation is visible. Okay, great. Okay, fine. So I will start my video as well. Hello friends, good morning once again to all of you. I hope all of you have enjoyed this last 3 days holiday. So let us now discuss the next part of classification. So as I just mentioned in the recap that we have already seen the classification task, mapping function, two types of classification task, that is binary classification and multi-class classification. Now it is time to discuss on how do we assess the quality or the performance of this classification models or classifiers. Okay, so here it is very important to note that to assess the classification performance or the classifiers performance, we use a contingency table, or it is also called as the confusion matrix. So this confusion matrix has different terminologies. So the first terminology is true positive rate. True positive rate, we find out the percentage of positive class instances which are correctly classified. Then true negative rate, so the number of negative class instances which are correctly classified by the classifier. Then we have false negative rate. So false negative rate is basically the total number of positive class instances which are incorrectly classified or which are misclassified by the classifier. Then we have false positive rate. So false positive means the total number of negatively classed instances, or we can say that these are the negative class instances which are misclassified as the positive class instances. So these are the four terminologies which is very important as far as your classification performance assessment is concerned. Then the fifth terminology that we are going to use will be accuracy and error rate. This is very important. Then as a part of the sixth terminology, we are going to use the few more concepts called as just let me take a pen. The concept is called as F1 score, and the seventh concept that we will going to see is precision. Okay, so let's take one example and we'll try to see how we can define this terminology. So let us say that the first column of this 2 by 2 matrix, because we are assessing the performance of binary classifier, so of course this the corresponding confusion matrix will be of size 2 by 2. So this first field of this confusion matrix, it will represent the true positive instances. So what is mean by true positive instances? To total number of positive instances correctly classified by the classifier. Now we know that this horizontal line, it represents the actual class of the instances, and vertical line, it represents the prediction of our classifier. Because we are assessing the performance of binary class classification problem, so we consider that there are two classes. So we consider one class as output positive class and other class as the negative class. So this first column, it represents the prediction of our classifier for the positive class instances, and second column, it represents the prediction of our classifier for the negative class instances. So this first row, it represents this n plus this entity, it represents the total number of positive instances in the data set, and n minus, it represents the total number of negative instances in the data set. Now what is this second column? So we will first talk about the diagonal element. So this next diagonal element of this confusion matrix is Tn. So what is Tn? Tn is called as the true negative. So total number of negative class instances correctly predicted by our classifier, right? Then all the values which are off the diagonal, okay, they are basically the misclassification. Now how do we misinterpret this misclassification? So we interpret this misclassification as the first part is the Fn. So Fn, it stands for false negative. So false negative means what? These false negative instances, they are actually positive instances, but our predictor, our classifier has classified them as the negative instances. So actually this is misclassification by our classifier. These are actually positive instances. These are positive instances, but classifier predicted it as a negative instances. In the same case, this next of the diagonal value, which is represented here, this is abbreviated as false positive. So what is happening with this? So this false positive, actually these false positive instances, they are actually negative class instances, but our classifier has predicted them as positive instances, and hence they are called as false positive instances. Well, so now we'll try to find out the formulas for this different terminologies or these different measures of the confusion matrix. So the first measure is the TPR. So the formula for the TPR is always calculated as total number of true positive instances divided by false negative plus true positive. So this is the formula in order to find out the total number of percentage or the percentage of positive instances which are correctly classified by the classifier. Okay, so this formula gives me the TPR rate, true positive rate for this confusion matrix. Okay, then we'll go to the next slide. We'll take some example and we'll try to find out the true positive rate for the confusion matrix. So in this confusion matrix, the data given is the number of positive class instances are 50. Out of this 50, my classifier has predicted 20 positive instances correctly and 30 positive instances are being classified. Okay, misclassified, sorry. Same way, there are total 50 negative instances in the data set. Out of these 50 negative instances, 40 negative instances are correctly classified by the classifier, whereas the 10 negative instances, they have been misclassified. So this is correct classification and this is misclassification. Okay, so now we'll go to TPR rate and we'll try to find out the TPR rate for this. So total number of correctly classified positive instances, that is TP, is 20. So 20 divided by total number of misclassified positive instances. So this gives me the misclassified positive instances 30 plus TP. So 20 divided by 50 will give me, that is 40% of the instances they have been correctly classified. Got it? So 0.4, it gives me the answer 0.4. Now, in the same way, we also try to find out the TNR rate. So how do I calculate the TNR rate? So TNR is calculated as correctly classified negative instances, which are represented by Tn, divided by false positive plus plus true negative. So this gives me the TNR rate. If I take this example, then in this example, the total number of correctly classified negative instances are 40 divided by total number of misclassified negative instances are 10 plus correctly classified instances are 40. So again, this gives me the rate of 0.8, that is 80% of negative class instances are correctly classified by the classifier. Got it? Now, one thing I just forgot to mention you, this TPR rate is also called as recall. So recall and TPR, these are same. So if the question comes in the exam like find out the recall for the given confusion matrix, so that means you're supposed to find out the true positive rate. Okay, then we'll go to the next concept, that is FNR, false negative rate. How do we calculate the false negative rate? That we'll see. Okay, so false negative rate is also called as fallout. Okay, they are also sometimes referred as fallout. So how do we calculate the FNR? Okay, so the FNR is calculated as, first we calculate the FNR, total number of misclassified negative instances divided by total number of correctly classified positive instances plus total number of incorrectly classified positive instances. So in this case, the value of Fn is 30 divided by the total number of correctly classified instances are 20 plus incorrectly classified instances by the classifier are 30. So this gives me the FNR rate as 0.6 or 60%. Okay. One more thing which I just forgot to mention you, that this TNR, they are also called as specificity. Okay, so it may happen that you will be asked to calculate the specificity in the question. So don't get confused. The TNR and the specificity, they are same. They are the different terminology for the same operation. Okay, in which our goal is to find out correctly classified negative instances by the classifier. Same is the case for the TPR also. So TPR is also referred as sensitivity. Okay, so TPR is used with 3 different names. It may be referred as true positive rate. It will also be referred as recall or sensitivity. Whereas this TNR, it is called as specificity, and FNR is called as miss rate. It is not actually called as the miss out, but it is called as miss rate. Okay, now this FNR is actually also represented as FNR is equal to 1 minus TPR. So let me take a eraser so that I can erase this all. Okay, so FNR is also represented as 1 minus TPR. So maybe in the question you will be asked, proof that false negative rate is always equal to 1 minus true positive rate. So let us prove this. How we can prove this? We know the formula for the TPR. What is the formula for the TPR? The formula for the TPR is total number of correctly positive instances plus Fn plus Tp. So if you simplify this equation, what you will get will be Fn plus Tp minus Tp divided by Fn plus Tp. So this Tp get cancelled, and what remains with us is actually nothing but the formula of FNR, that is false negative rate. Well, then we'll go to the next concept called false positive rate. So false positive rate is calculated as, so how do we calculate the false positive rate? So total number of false positive divided by total number of correctly classified true negative plus false positive. So total number of misclassified negative instances divided by total number of correctly classified negative instances plus misclassified negative instances. So what FP represents? FP, that is false positive, it represents the misclassification of negative instances, whereas Fn represents the misclassification of positive instances. Okay, so this is the formula that we get. Now for this same example, we'll calculate the false positive rate, and false positive rate is calculated as FP we have got as 10 divided by 40 plus 10, so which gives me the answer 0.20. Okay, got it. That means 20% of negative class instances, they are misclassified by our classifier. So false positive rate is also called as fallout. Okay, this false positive rate FPR, it is also represented as 1 minus TNR, and we can prove it that false positive rate is always equal to 1 minus true negative rate. Okay, how we know the formula for the true negative rate? It is Tn divided by Fp plus Tn. So if you solve this example, then you will get the answer as Fp minus Tn, sorry, Fp plus Tn minus Tn divided by Fp plus Tn. So this Tn get cancelled, and the formula that remains is actually a formula of false positive rate. Okay. Now friends, though we have seen these 4 different concepts, one is true positive rate, then true negative rate, then false positive rate, and false negative rate. Okay, so it is ideally expected that the true positive rate is always equals to 1, that is 100%, whereas the true negative rate is also expected to be 1, is always, ideally it is expected that it should be equal to 0, that is 100%, and this false negative rate and false positive rate, they are expected, or they are ideally expected to be 0. Okay, so what it means? Ideally, the true positive rate, it must be close to 1, and true negative rate is also expected to be close to 1, whereas this false positive and false negative, they must be close to 0. In that case, we declare or we conclude that the classifier has the good performance. Remember, because ultimately our objective is to analyze the performance of classifier. So it is very important. How do we analyze the performance of classifier? Based on the values of this TPR, TNR, FNR, and FP. Okay, so TP and TN, they are ideally must be close to 1, whereas false negative and false positive, they are ideally must be close to 0. Okay, then we'll go to the next important concept. That is accuracy. Now we'll see what is accuracy and what is error rate. So accuracy is actually, it is divided, it is represented as TP plus TN divided by TP plus TN plus FP plus FN. So in this case, if we try to find out the accuracy of this classifier, then we'll get the accuracy as TP is 20, TN is 40, and actually this column, this last value which I am indicating here, it represents the total number of instances. We know that total number of positive instances are 50. Total number of negative instances are 50. So we get the total instances in the data set, including positive and negative, to be 100. So, and if you calculate like this, then we have TP to be 20, then TN to be 40, FP to be 10, and FN to be 30. So if you calculate this, then you will get the resultant answer as 60 divided by 100. And if you take the percentage, then you will get the 60% accuracy. Now the error rate is exactly opposite to this. So error rate is actually calculated, or it is represented as all the off the diagonal value of this confusion matrix, that is Fn plus Fp divided by all these things, TP plus TN plus FP plus Fn. And if you calculate the error rate, then you will get the error rate as FP plus Fn, their summation is 40, and total number of instances, or if you take the summation of this entire confusion matrix off the diagonal and on the diagonal, that is TP 20 plus Fn 30 plus FP 10, then TN 40, then you will get the answer 100. So error rate that we have calculated as 0.4 or 40%. Now this error rate is, or this error rate or the accuracy, they are also represented as accuracy or error rate, they are also represented as, let me take this pen, accuracy is represented as 1 minus error rate, or error is represented as 1 minus accuracy. Even you can put this, you will get the error rate. How? I'll just show you. So we have already calculated the accuracy as 0.6%, that is 60%. So if you put this in this formula, then you will get the error rate as 0.4%. Or we have already calculated the error rate, then you can calculate the accuracy as 1 minus 0.4, then you will get the accuracy to be 0.6%. Okay, so accuracy and error, they are actually inverse to each other. Okay, once you get the accuracy, you can find out the error. If you calculated the error, then you can find out the accuracy. So now here, even we can prove this formula, error is equal to 1 minus accuracy. We know what is the formula for the 1 minus accuracy, accuracy only, that is all Fn plus Fp plus Tn plus Tp, right? So if you simplify this, then this Tn and Tp and this Tn and Tp, they will get cancelled, and what is remain will be Fn plus Fp divided by Fn plus Fp plus Tn plus Tp, which is actually the formula for the error rate. So that's it. Then we'll go to the next terminology, which is called as F1 measure. So F1 measure, it is basically the measurement of performance of classifier, and it is defined as, F1 measure is defined as 2 into Tp divided by 2 Tp plus Fp plus Fn. Okay, so finally we can say that the F1 measure, it is calculated as 1 divided by Fp plus Fn. So if I want to calculate the F1 measure for this classifier, then it will be calculated as 1 divided by Fn plus Fp is actually 30 plus 10 is equal to 40, and the answer which I will get is 40%. Okay. So let's go to the next measure, that is precision. Now precision is calculated as true positive divided by true positive plus false positive. So this column gives me the precision, whereas this first field, it will give me the recall. So precision is calculated as total number of positive class instances divided by positive class instances plus misclassified negative instances, that is FP. So TP is 20 and TP divided by TP, that is 20 plus false positive, that is 10. So 20 divided by 10, which gives me the calculation 20 divided by 30, that would be my precision. Okay, so precision is actually, it is defined as the number of test instances which are correctly classified to the positive class. Okay, that is what our intention in finding the precision. Okay, so now next we'll go to the one more concept called as the majority class and the minority class. So I'll take a separate slide to calculate it, to explain it. So let's say that I have 140 instances in my data set. So data set, I represent it with the X. Now what I did is I have splitted this data set into two groups. Let's say that X1 dash, which has let's say that it has 80 instances, and X double dash is the another instance of the same data set, okay, which has the remaining instances. Okay, now I just observe each of these two instances, the X dash instance and the X2 dash instance. Then I found that the total number of positive instances in this class, in this first set, are 60, and total number of negative instances in this set are 20. Same way, in the second subset, I found that the total number of positive class instances are 10, and total number of negative class instances are 60. Total number of negative instances are 50. So I got the proportion in both the sets. So now what majority class classification approach says that in a given set, if the instances are belongs to some class in majority, then all the instances of that class will be classified to the majority class. Okay, for example, we can say here, now in the first instance, first data set, first splitted data set, the majority of instances out of this 80, they are belong to the positive class. So 60 instances are belong to the positive class, and only 20 instances are belong to the negative class. So they are negative instances. So majority of instances in the first data set, first splitted data set, subset you can call it as, that is X dash, consist of positive instances, and hence this is all the instances of this set, they will be classified to the positive class. Okay, then in the second subset of the original data set X, we found that the majority of instances, they are belong to negative class, that is 50 instances are belong to negative class, and only 10 instances are belong to positive class. Hence the majority class, using the majority class classification approach, we classify all these instances to the negative class. All the instances will be classified to the negative class, whereas all these 80 instances, they will be classified to positive class. Now this is what the majority class classification approach. Okay, now we'll see the minority class classification approach. Let me just erase it so that it will take just a second to erase this so that I can explain you again the new concept called minority class. Now we'll see what is the minority class. So again, let's take the same example. I have a data set which consists of 140 instances, and I have splitted this data set into two subsets, that is x1, which again consists of 80, and x2 dash, which contains of 60. Okay, now let's say that again we go back and use the same approach. Out of this 80 instances in the first subset, 60 are belong to positive class, and remaining 20 they are belong to negative class, or they are negative instances. In the second subset, out of these 60 instances, 10 are belong to positive, and remaining 50 they are belong to negative class. Now in minority class classification, we use the minority approach. Okay, now to perform the classification for the first set, what we are going to do is we are using the minority approach. So the instances which are minimum in that set will classify all the instances of that set to that minority class. So here minority class is negative. Only 20, that is only few instances they are belong to the negative class, and because they are belong to the negative class, so all the 80 instances they will be classified to negative class. Same is the case for this second data set, because we are using the minority approach. So here you can see that the minority instances in this second subset will belong to a positive instances, or they will belongs to the positive class. And because this is minority approach, so all these 60 instances they will be classified to positive class. Hence this will be classified to negative class. I hope you understood this. Anybody can just inform me whether you understood or not. So this is the example. You're supposed to calculate all the things, all the measures, all the confusion matrix measures for this contingency table or confusion matrix. So suppose a classifier's prediction on a test sets are as follow. That is, these are the confusion matrix values. So this first, it represents the what? It represents TP. This represents TN. This represents FP, and this represents FN. And you're supposed to calculate all TPR, TNR. TPR is also called as recall and sensitivity, whereas TNR is called as specificity. Then you're supposed to calculate the FNR. FNR, we know that it is also referred as miss rate. Then FPR, which is actually fallout. Then accuracy, you're supposed to calculate the error rate. You're supposed to calculate the F1 measure and precision. So find out and give me the answer in the chat box. I will give you 5 minutes and then we'll stop. Give me the answer for this question. This confusion matrix or this assessing performance of binary class classifier is very important from exam perspective. In same exam, if you just go through the last question paper, maybe in same question paper or the end same question papers, you will find at least one question on this confusion matrix, which is used to assess the performance of your classifier. So meanwhile, when you find out the answer, I'll just go back and I will tell you how we can analyze the performance of this classifier for this confusion matrix. Now, if I take the different measures that is TPR and TNR and FNR and FPR, then I found that the TPR rate, that is true positive rate, is very less as compared to true negative rate. The true positive rate is only 40%, okay, which is shown here, right? So this indicates me that because we have mentioned in the beginning the TPR and TNR rate, they must be close to 0, and here we can find out that the TPR rate is not too close to 0. Now in contrast to this, if you take the TNR, then you will find that the TNR rate is pretty close to 0, close to 1, sorry, and then we can conclude that the classifier's performance for the positive class instances is not good. It is very bad. Remember, it is very bad. But the classifier's performance for negative class instances is very good. So my classifier, this classifier, it may be any a linear classifier, it may be the distance-based classifier, or it may be a Bayesian classifier, right? So this classifier, it performs well for the negative class instances, but it performs very badly for the positive class instances. And even we can interpret this conclusion from this FNR and FPR rate as well. If you remember, in the beginning we have set the milestone for FNR as the FNR rate, false negative rate, and the true false positive rate, they must be close to 0. And here you can find out that the FNR rate is 60%. It is actually approaching towards 1, right? Even this false positive rate. Okay, so false negative rate is actually high, but false positive rate is very less. That is, it is approaching towards 0. So these two, FNR and FPR, these two measures will also gives me the analysis of my classifier. So from these two analysis, FNR and FPR, I conclude that the classifier performs well for the negative class instances because FPR value is approaching towards 0. This value is approaching towards 0, FPR value. But in contrast to this, the value of FNR, it is approaching towards 1, and that indicates me the performance of our classifier for the positive class instances is very bad. Now we can also interpret from the accuracy as well. So accuracy of my classifier is 60%, right? Accuracy of my classifier is actually 60%. Okay, whereas the error rate, my error rate is 0.4%, that is 40%. Okay, which means that the classifier is performing well but not up to the mark. Remember, the accuracy, the standard says that, or ideally it is expected that the accuracy should always be equal close to 1, whereas the error rate should be close to 0. That means error should be minimum and accuracy should be high, right? And this does not give me any clear indication of my classifier, but we can conclude that, okay, the classifier has the average performance. And so as you can also find this using this F1 score also, as well as you can find out the precision also. Well, so now give me the answer. Give me the answer. So accuracy is okay. TPR rate is 80%. Few are saying TPR rate is 80%. Okay, let me check it. I'll just go back to the example. Okay, right. The first answer is right. So TPR rate is actually 80%. TNR rate, TNR is what? TNR is 60%. Is it right? TNR is true negative rate is 60%, right? Then we'll find out the FNR. So FNR is calculated as 20%. Okay, your answer is 20%, right? Absolutely right. It is FNR is not 20%. Yes, FNR is 20%, right? As well as the FPR is what? FPR is also 20%. Okay. What is the accuracy of the classifier? So classifier's accuracy is 75, right? Because out of 100, out of these 100 instances, 75 instances are correctly classified. That means the accuracy is 75%. And once we know the accuracy, we can easily calculate the error rate. Error rate is actually 1 minus accuracy. So I will get the error rate to be 25%. Then F1 measure. You have not calculated F1 measure and the precision. Tell me the precision first. What is the precision? So precision is the 90%. Precision for this class is 90%. How do we calculate the precision? Precision is calculated as TP divided by TP plus FP. So that means 60 divided by 10 plus 60. So that means the answer is 60 divided by 70, which gives you 90%. 0.9, and you get the answer 90%. So that's it from my end. If you have any problem in understanding, please ask me right now. We have 1 minute more because we are running 3 minutes late. I will take your 2 minutes more and then I will stop. I know it's too late, but if you are interested, yes. F1 rate is 75%. Let me calculate it. No, F1 rate is not 75%. It is actually 1 divided by 25. So you can calculate it. It will be actually 0.4%. The F1 measure, the error for, or you can say that the value of the F1 measure is 40%. Remember the formula of the F1 measure. F1 measure is calculated as 2TP divided by 2TP plus FN plus FP. So 2TP that gets cancelled, and what we get the formula as 1 divided by FN plus FP, right? So we know that FN is 15, FP is 10, so 1 divided by 25, so what you get is the 40% is the right answer. So Akash, you have to correct it. So F1 measure is actually calculated as 1 divided by FP plus FN or FN plus FP. You can rearrange that term, doesn't matter. So if you take 1 divided by 25, your answer will be F1 measure is calculated as 40%. Okay, that's it. Any problem in this? Okay. Yes. Right. 2 TP. So we have to take 2 TP. Sorry, it's not 1. Yes. You are right. So that means the F1 measure is 75% in that case. That's right answer. Okay. So thanks for correcting me. Any question in this? Otherwise, we will stop. Any question? No. So I conclude that you don't have any questions.